In today's video, I'm going to talk about how to present typography to your graphic design clients. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you have not been here before, my name is Megan and I have been a graphic designer for about 7 years now, and I love what I do and I love talking about it. So every Wednesday I like to sit in front of the camera with a glass of wine and talk about wine, because what's better than wine and graphic design? Like, it's a great combination. Honestly, if I'm being completely honest, I'm so exhausted today. I don't know why, really. Like, I haven't even worked out today yet. I just woke up really tired. So if I'm a little slow today, that's why. But yeah, anyway, I hope you guys are doing wonderful. And the wine of choice today is Fitvine. It actually is, I always have trouble focusing. It's actually a lower sugar wine, lower calorie wine. It's supposed to be a little bit better for you. So it's definitely light bodied and actually pretty dang good. So I'm gonna pour myself a little bit. Anyway, I wanted to talk to you guys today about typography and how to present that to clients and how to really show that on a brand guideline. And I'm going to show you guys example brand guidelines that I've created, that I have seen, and I really want to dive into the best way to present that. Also, before I dive into that topic, I wanted to share that I am going to be doing a Valentine's Day sale on my branding course, and I thought it would be a perfect time to share that since we're going to be talking a lot about branding today. And I really just wanted to share the course with others and drop the price down a little bit if you didn't get a chance to hop on that pre-order sale. So it'll be a 20% off sale starting tomorrow, and the coupon code and everything will be linked down below, but it's only gonna last until February 15th, so the day after Valentine's Day. And yeah, I really just wanted to give you guys a chance to get your hands on the course. And yeah, I really hope that you guys, if you are taking the course, enjoying it or enjoyed it. And also, another thing I wanted to mention is anytime I update my process, I'm going to update it in the course. No cost, no extra cost with that. I just want to share because I am always learning. I feel like I don't know everything, and that's why I want to always improve the course and add things to it that might not be in there already. So what I'm going to be talking about today is actually something I'm going to update in my course. So if you do join, you will be getting a lot of my updates throughout the years to come. But with all that said, I'm going to start recording my screen. I'm going to talk you guys through presenting typography and just a little bit more about fonts and all of that. So let's head on over to my screen. So I first want to start off by explaining what a branding guideline is and why I send that to my clients. So the brand guideline packet goes over everything I created for the brand. So that is the brand messaging, the brand mood board, the brand aesthetics, inspiration, the overall strategy. It also goes into the logo designs and where to use them and how to use them. And it also goes into the typography, which is what I'm going to talk about today. And also will even show some mock-ups of how I would recommend using the brand and also some social media templates. So the branding guideline is packed full of information that anyone needs to know, whether you're a designer or not, just on how to use the branding materials that I am handing off to them. So one of the most important, or one really essential part of the branding guideline is the typography. And I will say that every brand designer is so different. And this really just comes into place when you are quoting your client and when you are creating your package. It really comes into play of what do you want your brand guideline to cover? Do you want it to be super extensive and be like a whole dictionary on the brand, or do you want it to be more simplified and just easy to digest? Or do you want it to be kind of in the middle of really informative but still pretty simple. And I would say I'm leaning more towards that middle area where I want to add more to my branding guideline, but I don't want it to be overwhelming to the point where they're not going to really look at it or reference it. I want them to be able to look at it all the time and get the information they need without having to read a lot. So that's where I fall into it, and I feel like originally my branding guideline just went over the basics of typography, and that's something I want to work on and improve a little bit. So over on my screen here, I wanted to show you guys an example of one of my branding guidelines I did for a client and what the typography section looks like. So you'll see right here, this is a little bit of what the typography looked like for this client. I only would write out the primary and the secondary font, which technically is just the headline or like the title font and the body font. I wasn't really going into details of like the headline, the H1, the H2, the paragraph, the subheading, all of that. I was just going over the basics, and I felt like this still works and it's simple and it's easy for clients to understand, and I've seen my clients implement this. But if it's a big client that's going to have a lot of materials where a lot of fonts are going to be used, you're going to want to have more detail to this. So this is just an example. I kind of explain what the primary font is, what the secondary font is, but I feel like it needed more. Also, if you click onto these, it will go to Dropbox for them to download the font files, which I thought was a nice little feature. And I still really love this, and I think if you want a really simple brand guideline, this is a perfect way to do it. I also wanted to show you guys a brand presentation that I received once when I was helping with this project, and she had a very simple way of displaying everything, but I thought it was so beautiful and just to the point and simple. And when it comes to the brand fonts for her, she actually doesn't explain it at all. So this is just a good example in terms of you can do whatever it is you want when you're a brand designer, and just make it clear to your client in the beginning that this is what you deliver to them. And if you don't want to go into detail, you don't have to. And she does it beautifully, and she doesn't really go into detail with it. So like I said, you can really choose to do whatever makes your heart happy. If you don't want to go into detail, don't worry about it. Now, when it comes to a more intensive client, which I would say this is not my branding guideline. I received this from another project I was helping with, and I was designing materials for them, so they sent me the brand guideline for me to reference so I could design those materials. And when I saw this, I was like, wow, this is inspiration for me, because I want to up-level my branding package to be more informative. So I wanted to show you guys just their typography section. As you can see, they have a lot of pages. I think they have a total of 46 pages in their brand guideline. So you can really make a branding package a big project. And that's why companies like this can probably charge a lot more money, because they're putting a lot of information jam-packed into here. And it's a really awesome thing. But so typography. For them, they go over the headlines, the body copy, and the fallback fonts, which I thought is kind of a cool way to name that. So for the headlines, they just explain a little bit about what that is, and then they have an example of what that looks like, and all of the letters and characters listed out. So, and then they also have it in a mock-up, which I thought was also a really good idea. And then their body copy has another explanation of the actual font. I think that's also a really cool thing to do, is explain the font instead of just throwing it up there. I mean, the fonts have a story behind it, and I think it's kind of cool to go into detail with that. And right here you'll see they have the different weights of the font, and they have it in a example paragraph. They have the character sets, and then the fallback fonts. And this is it says, if these typefaces are not available, use these ones as fallback options for headlines and body copy respectively. That's a great idea, because sometimes purchased fonts, such as the one I just showed you guys, this one, the no mark one, actually might not be available on all platforms, and you want to make sure that your clients have access to the fonts and they don't have to download them or upload them onto different platforms to use them. For example, I was just thinking of Canva. If your client doesn't pay for Canva, they can't upload their own custom fonts. So it might be nice for them to have some fallback ones, and that's how they present it. So I really, really love the way that they laid this out. It's still simple, but it's way more detailed than I think mine goes into. So I am going to work on really beefing this up a little bit and putting more info behind the primary and the secondary fonts. But for the most part, I'm still really happy with how I'm doing it. I think it's simple and to the point. And at the end of the day, people like simple. So I wanted to show you guys that today though, and just kind of give you more ideas of how to present your typography. And at the end of the day, everyone is so different. You don't have to do what I'm doing. You don't have to do what your designer that you're following somewhere else is doing. Like, at the end of the day, you have to sit with yourself and be like, what do I want to pour more energy into? Do I want to pour more energy into the logos, the typography, the strategy? Like, where do I lie within that, and where do I want to like really beef it up? I'm not going to really design today with you guys because I'm going to be sending that off to my students so that they can see my new and improved typography section. And when it comes to fonts, I know I had a couple questions in terms of like revisions on fonts, and like, do you do 3 revisions for fonts too, or is it just 3 revisions for logos? And ultimately, my logo designs contain the fonts that I'm really going to be using, so I don't really provide fonts for them to review for me to revise. If that is something I do down the line, I'm definitely going to increase my pricing because that's going to involve a lot of back and forth. Right now, I just choose the fonts I think are going to work best for them, and 99% of the time, my clients don't really come back with, I don't like that font. So they will see the fonts that you're leaning more towards in the logos, and from there you can just build the typography page off of that. So I hope that answers that question too. But yeah, for me, I don't provide a typography phase where I have them choose the best fonts for their business. I really leave that up to my decision, and if they have feedback once I send that, I will just make an adjustment for them then and address it then. But that's how I do it. So anyway, that is what I wanted to talk about today, is just typography, and I can definitely go into more detail about fonts and picking fonts and how to really think through that. So let me know if you guys would like to see that video. I can definitely make it. But I do know my course goes more into detail about fonts, where to find them, how I look for them. So I really just wanted to share more about presenting that to your clients. And yeah, I really hope this was helpful. I'm sorry for my little rant in the beginning, but I just wanted to get it off my chest because I have received some comments before about me saying and it's something I'm working on, but I'm not ever going to be perfect. And at the end of the day, we should all just support each other for putting ourselves out there. And at the end of the day, that's a celebration in itself. And yeah, saying again. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, I would appreciate it so much if you gave it a thumbs up. Subscribe down below. I really hope you guys can subscribe. I actually looked recently. I've never really looked at this before, but a lot of the people who watch my videos aren't subscribed, and I would love it if you guys subscribe and hang around. I have a lot of fun content coming. Something I have been thinking about is making my content more produced in a way, more thoughtful. So I'm probably only going to be posting twice a week because I really want to pour a lot of effort into those videos and make them aesthetic and fun and just something I'm proud to look back on. And that's something I am going to make more of an effort of. So the 2 video a week schedule just works better for me, and I hope you guys stick around for that. But thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate you guys. Be sure to check out my course sale that's starting tomorrow, and I will see you guys in my next video.
Yeah. Here's to the good days, here's to the sorrows. If this is a mistake, I know about tomorrow. I don't wanna fight no more, cause I don't feel the need no more, no.